This year is formally my last year in high school. Next year, I have no intention in going to university, no intention in chasing any tertiary study. Instead, I'll be chasing my business career and my company, DeXTech. Some may call this audacious, some may call it ignorant, arrogant, innovative. Whatever you may call it, what I know is that I'll be chasing my dreams and maximizing my personal learning, education, if you will. I'm not here purely to disrespect those in our society who've got us to where we are today just because of their chosen career path, just because they went to university, not to disrespect those in university or who plan to go to university. However, I would like to question and challenge some of the big accepted practices and views in our current education system. We live in a society where everyone of all ages, many of us, the audience, can be proud of your sons and daughters because they may have been accepted into their university of choice. They are considered to have a bright future, be highly intelligent, where the most successful people are seen as the ones who go through high school, perfect marks. They leave high school, get accepted into a good university, perfect marks. They study for 10 or 12 years. They may come out with a PhD, hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan. So why then, with the same financial outlaying, is it viewed as bad to be spending tens of thousands of dollars while starting up your first business for 3 or 4 years? Which is often the case. All businesses start from zero revenue, zero profit, and they have to move up. Are we just playing it safe, seeing that the safe and normal ways of education are the most successful? I started my first company 3 years ago. I was age 14 at the time, still in high school at full time. 3 years ago, you're probably most of you still on the same job. And what I can tell you is that at the time, starting out, I thought it would be easy. Starting a business at age 14, no problem. Look, we've got role models, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. They're respected for their story, their achievements, what they are in life, but they're not respected for their journey, not the career path they took. I saw role models such as those and thought, piece of cake, let's do it. Soon enough, I found out it's not easy. There's no means in starting up that is easy, let alone when you're age 14. But what I found is with a little bit of hard work, drive, and sleepless nights, anyone can do it. And 3 years later today, I run a technology company providing solutions to education and commercial customers. What I can say for sure is honestly the last 3 years have been the most worthwhile, experience-filled 3 years of my life. What school wasn't able to teach me, the formal education system, I would be forced to learn to keep up with my business, to keep ahead of customers, to know what they want before they know that they want it. And what I've learned through this is that there's a lot that you can learn from starting up a business, from any self-learning environment that you'll never be able to learn in the formal education system. You may spend 4 years studying business accounting in university, but if you don't know how to apply that in your job, then you've just wasted 4 years of university study, tens of thousands of dollars. What I learned is that what you may need to know to run accounting in a business could only take you 6 weeks to learn. It's what applied business accounting. I learned what a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 tech installation in a school was and the logistical nightmare that is, especially in 2 to 3 days. I learned what growth management was, how that's important in a startup, what sales management is, that sales isn't a theoretical skill, it's an applied skill. You can't learn it through university or school. And I learned that it's a charisma thing or a personality thing. I learned what data finance was, how that played a crucial part in a business, and how it could free up cash flows, things that school wouldn't be able to teach me. I learned how to maximize profit and add value to a business proposition, what the difference was between purchase and sale price, how to add value in between as a business and lower your expenses. And it's worth noting around this area, however, why is that possible? Why, age 14, are you allowed to actually start a business? What in the legislation of our country lets you do that? And the most important part around that is that my high school of choice, humble yet I would say very successful school in West Auckland, Liston College, was able to adapt my schooling routine, my schedule, so that I was given the maximum number of opportunities possible. What I needed to grow the business, I was able to gain. And what I see is that in our system today, if every school was able to identify the talents, the passions, the aspirations of all of our students, that would be a successful education system. By definition, learning is the acquisition of knowledge or skills through study, experience, or being taught. By definition, education is the process of acquiring or imparting general knowledge, the powers of reasoning or judgment, and generally preparing oneself intellectually for mature life. Immediately, you realize that one's 3 times the length of the other, and quite different. The definition of learning is very argumentatively saying that you can learn through study, experience, and being taught. Key being experience and being taught. Education, it goes through the whole thing of that, but also extra. Have we forgotten as a society that learning is supposed to be inherent in education? Education based upon learning, and yet we add so much extra paperwork for our students. Today, almost anyone can start up a business. It's becoming easier and easier to start up a business. But at the same time, it's becoming harder and harder to build a successful business. We have tools today, such as Xero, a New Zealand success story, where 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it might have taken a business owner 4 hours to do his accounting. Today, it could take him 10 minutes. We have things like Google Analytics, MailChimp, where you can reach all of your customers with one click. You can count how many people are interacting with your business. You can find out what your reach as a business is, where 20 years ago, you may have had to send out individual letters to all of your customers. It was much harder. And my understanding of my purpose in my business, my career option, if you like, is rocked by a few key questions. The main one being, why should I myself or any student be forced into the formal education system, taking the normal route, the successful route of education, instead of an alternative method? In our Western world, we're given opportunities to study in our state-owned institutions, where if we study well, revise well, prepare for exams, we're almost assured a great job. And that's the potential of anyone in our education system. So why then should we use this as our dream option? Why should we use this as our key goal when we could instead use this as our backup option? If our key option, our dream, doesn't go well, we could fall back on that. So starting up at age 14, I saw how that could be important. If the business didn't go well, I could fall back on the education system. Why sit in a lecture theatre and, assuming I study well, focus 100%, which personally I struggle with? You have the potential to learn, after 3 or 4 years, what you may need to know in your chosen career option. Where instead, I know in my business, or any business, you have to learn what you need to know. If you don't learn what you need to know, your business will start going downhill. And it's a definite learning process opposed to a potential in a lecture theatre. And a lot of this learning isn't the easy learning. Most of the learning which has happened to me has been through the hard way. Around 2 years ago, I was age 15 and I thought I was onto something. I brought in around $10,000 of iPhones for a customer who I still have a relationship with today. What a great deal, I thought. Age 15, $10,000 sale. What I found when the iPhones came into New Zealand and landed in the country is they were network-locked iPhones. I was stuck with $10,000 of useless iPhones to the New Zealand market. They were only useful in the US in a particular network carrier. Now, what I can tell you is, although that's not overly inspiring to start a business, I'm never going to make that same mistake again. It's real learning. I'm never going to bring in products which I don't know exactly their purpose. I don't know who they're going to serve. I'm going to bring in products I know exactly what they're for, and I'll never make that same mistake again. And for sure, the business world, ultimately self-learning, taking responsibility for your own destiny, isn't for everyone. Some jobs we would quite appreciate, they stayed within the formal education restraints. The next time I go for surgery, I don't want to hear the surgeon say, he learned how to operate through trial and error. Or the next time I fly on a plane, I don't want to hear the pilot learned through the University of Hard Knocks. But what I can tell you is that although it's one of the hardest career options, it requires a huge amount of drive, sleepless nights, determination. If you take the path, it's one of the most fulfilling journeys. You will reach fulfillment. And what I find about this is if you show me an entrepreneur who's saying they're not happy with their career option, they're not happy with their company they're starting, they're not truly an entrepreneur. They're not enjoying what they're doing. Imagine two young, very talented people. Let's say age 21, 22 years of age. One, they've spent the last 4 years in university. They left high school an A student, perfect marks every time. The student that everyone else in the class could be jealous of. They then went to university, came out of university, a top student. They knew everything theoretical about their career option, they thought. They applied for a job. On the flip side, someone who left high school, age 17, 18, and for the last 4 years, they've spent tens of thousands of dollars starting up their business. They had no idea what they were doing when they started aged 18. But what they know now is that what they do know is applied business. They know how to deal with the happy customers, the unhappy customers, what client management is, what sales management is. They know how to work in a practical, real business. They understand that honesty and integrity is crucial to any successful business. They also apply for a job. Who, as an employer, would you hire?